Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve one very popular Google, Facebook, Amazon coding interview question. It's on Leetcode 2013 detect squares. As you can see from the like dislike ratio, this is quite popular coding interview problem of medium complexity. So this problem is related to mathematics. So we are going to understand this problem today, and we are also going to solve this problem using Java. So we are also going to implement Java solution code for this problem. If you are a fresher, junior level developer, mid-level developer trying for any coding rounds of interviews, then make sure you watch this video until the end so you completely understand this important coding interview question. Before we start looking into the details of this problem and with the approach, I would like to quickly mention that this channel is to help people in their coding and Java interviews. On this channel, you will find more than 600 different varieties of coding problems solved and explained using whiteboarding sessions, examples, and Java code. You will see all important coding questions, varieties, problems here, including graphs, matrices, binary search trees, binary trees, different algorithmic problems including depth first search, breadth first search, Cadence algorithm, binary search algorithm, Prim's algorithm, Kruskal's algorithm, and many more algorithmic problems. There are also important data structures related interview questions here, including stacks, queues, priority queues, hash table, hash map, tree set, hash set, linked hash map, linked hash set, as well as many more important logical questions. So if you are preparing for any coding rounds of interviews or Java rounds of interviews, or you want to learn concepts of computer science, programming, data structures, algorithms, problem solving, logic building, and Java coding, then this channel can definitely help you in doing so. So please subscribe to this channel now. Also click on the bell notification icon right away so you won't miss any important, interesting, interview related helpful videos that we often prepare and post on this channel for you. So let's start with this Leetcode 2013 detect squares. You are given a stream of points on XY plane. Design an algorithm that adds a new point from the stream into a data structure. Duplicate points are allowed and should be treated as different points. Given a query point counts the number of ways to choose the 3 points from the data structure such that 3 points and the query point from the x-axis aligned square with positive area. An x-axis aligned square is a square whose edges are all the same length and either parallel or perpendicular to the x-axis and y-axis. Implement detect square class. Detect squares constructor initializes the object with empty data structure. Void add integer point adds new point xy to the data structure, and integer count of integer array point counts the number of ways to form axis aligned squares with point xy as described above. So this is what the problem statement says. So we want to basically write this detect square class, and we have to implement the constructor as well as the add and count method. So we want to count how many squares are there basically, right? And duplicate points are allowed as they said, and they will be counted as a different points. So let's take a look at this. First we'll go through the constraint. Says that the point dot length is 2 because there's just like x and y points, right? And x and y values will be between 0 to 1000 inclusive. At most 3000 calls in total will be made to add and count method. So this is one example. So they have given, so they are plotting points here. Okay, so this 1 to 3 points they plot. When they are plotting this point, they are seeing one square. As you can see, they have shown a square here, right? So we have to identify that there is one square here. Then they plot one more point, but this is not forming any square, right? Now they form, like they put one more point at the same place, but they are just showing us that it's a duplicate point here, right? Now when they are again putting a point in this yellow color, right? Then there are 2 points here they have shown, right? So I'll just make it big so you can see it clearly. Okay, so now there are 2 points here, so there are 2 squares basically, right? And that's what we have to see, right? 2 ways. So we have to count how many squares are there. So as they said, you can actually put duplicate points. So now you can see this clearly, right? So these are 2 points here. So this is what the problem statement says. So this one example they have given us. So we can add these points like 3 10, then 11 2, then 3 2, right? And when they are putting this count method for this point, then we will see that there is actually forming a one square there, right? So they have shown us this square. Yellow is the point that we are pointing actually, like we are plotting actually, right? Once you plot this yellow point, it will create a square. So we have to find out that there is one square basically, right? How many squares we are finding, that we have to return there basically, right? So this is what the problem says. So this is the same example I just created over here. So for example, what we are doing here is, first they are giving us this point, okay, 3 comma 2. So x-axis is 3, y-axis is 2, so this is where the point is. Then they are giving us a point, let's say 11 comma 2. So x is 11, y is 2, so we'll plot this point. They are giving us another point, 3 comma 10, right? So x is 3, y is 10. Now is the important thing. Now they are asking us to find out if there is any square if we plot a point 11 comma 10, right? If we plot this blue point, is there any square? That's what they are asking. Okay, and how many squares are there? So that is what they are asking. Okay, so now if you look at this particular example, if we plot 11 comma 10, this side will be how much? 10 minus 2, so this side will be 8, correct? This side is 11 minus 3, so this side will be 8, correct? And this side will be 10 minus 2, so this side will be 8, and this side will also be 8, correct? So this is actually forming one square basically, right? One square it is forming, correct? So now we have to return 1 basically. Once we plot this point, plot means we are not adding it, we are just calculating. Okay, we are not adding this point, we are just calculating how many squares are there if this point is present here. Okay, so there is one square. So you got the idea, right? This is what the problem is asking. Let us say that you have 2 points at this point. There are 2 points, 11 comma 2 is having 2 times points. Then how many squares you will have there? 2 squares. If it is 2 times, you will get 2 squares, right? Because you will calculate individual square basically, correct? Okay, so this is what the problem says. So now you understood what the problem is. So how can we solve this problem? So plotting a point, so we will keep track of these plotting points using map, right? We will use map when we are plotting these points. So let us go back here. So we are actually given these 3 points, right? This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. These 3 points are given to us, means we are adding these points basically, for example, right? So once you add these points, this is how your x map will look like, right? So x map is telling you what are the points which are at x3, right? So x is equal to 3, so what are the points you are seeing when x is 3? These points, right? When y is 2 and y is 10, correct? So y is 2 and y is 10, these are the y values basically, right? What are the points that you are seeing at when x is 11? When x is 11, this is one point you are seeing, which is y is 2. So y is 2 here, right? So this is a x map we will create. Okay, this is x map. So it will give us the points which start at that x index basically. Okay, so these are the two x index points which starts at x index. So there are multiple points can be there, right? Because there can be different y index which is having same index, right? Okay, so this is why we are creating a map here. So this is a x map. Similarly, we will create a y map, right? So this is a reverse direction where you will have a y point and there can be multiple x points. So I'll show you. So y point is 2. So let us take a look here. Okay, so y point is 2. So this is a y point and these are the two x points, correct? Y point is 2. So what are the two x points? 3 and 11, correct? So you will just write down 3 and 11 here. Okay, so here so far so good, no problem, right? Okay, so when y is 10, you will have x13. When y is 10, this point, right? When y is 10, you have x is equal to x is equal to 3 here, right? So x is equal to 3, so you will put this here, right? Okay, so far we have this built this maps basically for these points, right? So building a map is easy, no problem. when we are actually calculating the count for 11 comma 10, right? We'll calculate the point, uh, calculate the square for 11 comma 10 point. So what we will do is, when we get this point, we will calculate if there are any points which are at the same uh, x location, right? Same x location. So uh, let's see. So there is point which is at same x location, right? Same x location here. This is 11 comma 2, this is 11 comma 10. So if we connect these 2 points, what is the length we will calculate? So this is giving us 8 length, right? Okay, so is there any point with the same so this is x location, y is 10, right? So is there any point which is at the same y location? Yes, there is another point, 3 comma 10. So what is the length of this line? So the length of this line is again 8, right? Okay, so it can form a square because these two lines are 8. So now we have to check if there are other lines with 8 present actually, right? So that one we can check using this map basically that we created, right? This map we can check if there are these two other 8 lines are present or not, right? If these two 8 lines are present, for example here they are present, right? If you calculate the length of 10 minus 2 is 8 and 11 minus 3 is 8, right? So it means that it is actually forming one square, correct? So at the same time we will also create one count 2D array, right, which will tell us how many points are appearing at that point, correct? For example, let's say count of 11 and 2 is going to be 1, so there is one point which is appearing at this location basically, correct? So there is one point which is appearing at this location, right? So there is another point, one point which is appearing at 3 comma 10 location, right? 3 comma 10 location, one point is there. So we'll keep track of this count, how many points are there. Okay, 3 comma 2, there is one point, right? So what we will do is, now once we know this point, we will check with these other points. So basically we will check how many points are there at this location multiplied by this location multiplied by this location basically, correct? You see what I mean, right? So if there are one point in all these locations, so let me write down. So this location has one point here, right? So this is one point, this is one point, and this is also one point, correct? So 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, so it will generate one square basically if we plot this point. You agree? Okay, so cool. So now let us say that there are 2 points here, right? There are 2 points, so 11 comma 2, so instead of 1 you have 2 value here, right? So it means that when we actually uh, plot this point on this graph, it will generate 2 squares basically, correct? Because there are 2 points at this location. How we got that? 2 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, so it will give you 2. So there are 2 squares it will generate, right? If you have 2 points here also, let's say there are 2 points at 3 comma 2, then how many squares it will generate? 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, which is going to give you 4 squares basically, because there are these duplicate points are going to be treated as a separate point basically, distinct points, right? They have told us here that, right? So duplicate points are allowed and should be treated as different points, right? That's why we have to count how many points are there. We will do that counting using this count array, right, which is a 2D array. Okay, so now you understood this approach clearly, how we can approach and solve this problem. So I think we'll just walk through the code so it will be more clear for you. So this is our solution to solve this problem. So detect squares is the class we are implementing. We will first create x map and y map. So it is going to hold integer comma set of integers, right? Both are actually integer comma set of integers, because this is the x point and these are the corresponding y points. So this is set, right? This is a set because there can be multiple points there, right? That's why we have used set there. So now this point is clear to you. So now we'll create this count 2D array to keep count of how many times a point appears at that particular location, right? So as I shown you here, we can have the point two times at the same location, right? So we'll keep track of that using this count array. So this is our constructor for detect squares, right? So we'll first create these hash maps, x map and y map, and we will initialize our array, which is 1001 divided like 1001 and 1001. Why 1001? Because x and y can be maximum 1000. Okay, so we just use 1001 here. Now we'll implement the add method. So add method will read the x and y coordinate of that point, and it will take the count, right, into our count array, x count array of x and y plus plus. So it will increment the count by 1 because we are adding the point, and then we will make an entry into the x set for that point, right? X set dot add y and y set dot add x. Correct. This one will only create it first time when it's not present, right? If it's not present the value, then it will create a new hash set, linked hash set, right? Okay, so this part is clear to you now. So this x set and y set is essentially this we are building this x map and y map entries here, right? Okay, so x set is will add y and y set will add x, right? Okay, so now this one is clear. So we have this x map and y map created here just as I shown you here, right? So these points, when you add it, you will get entries like this. So x and the corresponding y coordinates for 2 points, you will have 2 y coordinates, right? Okay, so this is also clear now. So let's go back. So now we have to implement the important method here, which is count method, right? The count method will take a point. So this point is just will be given to us, right? So for example, this point is going to be given to us, so we are not adding this point, we just want to calculate how many squares if we put that point onto a graph, how many squares it will create. That's what we are counting basically. Okay, so we will not add that point. Okay, so now we'll create x1 and y1 from this point that is given to us, result is 0. We will start iterating through the x map, right? So we'll start reading these values from the x map, right? For y2 values, these y2 values we will read from x map for every x1 coordinate. For example, here in this case x1 is 11, so we will go here, we will read this value 2, right? And here y1 is 10, so we'll go here and we will read this value x here, right? So this is what we are doing in this for loop. Okay, so for int y2 and then here for int x2, right? And we will check if this x1 should not be equal to x2 and y1 should not be equal to y2, and this absolute difference between x1 and x2 and absolute difference between y1 and y2 should be same, right? So what we are doing is we are calculating this distance 8 and this distance 8, right? If it is same, then we might have a square there, right? So after that, if these distances are same, 8 and 8 are same, then we have to still check if these all 3 points are present there and how many times they are present, right? So that's what we are checking now. So count of x2 and y2 multiplied by count of x1 and y2 and multiplied by count of x2 and y1, right? So these 3 combinations we will have to check as I shown you here. These are the 3 combinations. These are the remaining 3 points basically, right? So that it can be a square. Correct? So you got it, right? So I'll just remove this color, so I'll explain again. Okay, so these are the, so if this point we want to plot it onto a graph, then we need and we want to find out if a size 8 square is present, then we have to make sure that these 3 other points, how many times they are appearing basically, right? These 3 other points. So that's what we are calculating here, the count, and multiplying it, right? So in this case they are appearing only once right now, so you will multiply 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, so it will give you 1 square basically, right? 1 square you will get, and you will add it into your result, right? So this way you will keep counting for all the values from this map, and then at the end you will return the result. So this is how the code works, right? So I hope it is clear to you, right? So let's go ahead now, execute this code snippet, make sure it gives us correct answers. So as you can see, our output and the expected output is correct here. So we'll just go ahead, submit this code, make sure it gets accepted by the Leetcode. And as you can see, the code successfully is accepted. It is 66% faster on the performance side, and it is almost 11% faster on the memory usage. So this is the way you can implement this detect squares class using the logic that I explained you. I hope it is clear to you now how we have used this xmap and ymap concept, and how we have used this count array to keep track of how many points are there, right? So that we can find out if there are any squares possible here, right? So squares can appear in 4 directions, and this code will take care of all of them basically, correct? So what I mean to say is, I'll just show you. So let us say that let us just draw one simple graph, right? So you have, let's say, so you are looking at one point here, right? So what I mean to say is, the square ending at this point can go here, right? Or it can go here, or it can go here, or it can go here, correct? So these are the 4 possible squares. So this code will take care of all of them basically, right? So you can try with other test cases as well, but this code is working fine and got accepted. So this is how you can implement the Leetcode 2013, a Facebook, Google, Amazon coding interview question, very important coding question, detect squares using xmap and ymap and this count array, right? So I hope it's clear to you now. If you are new to this channel, we have created a very important coding interview related playlist to help you on this channel. For example, the name of that playlist is Leetcode and Leetcode Solutions. We have compiled more than 250 most frequently asked very important coding interview problems for you under one playlist here. Those are the coding problems that got asked by many big tech companies, including FANG companies, many times in their interviews. So those are very important coding interview problems there. Make sure you go through those problems, understand the logic behind the solutions, and also understand how the Java solutions are implemented to solve those different varieties of important coding problems. Everything is explained for you in those videos with examples, so that you can easily understand and follow the logic there. If you go through those videos, you are going to learn a lot about data structures, algorithms, problem solving, logic building, as well as how to approach and solve medium to difficult level coding interview problems, and how to implement their solutions in Java. So it's going to help you learn a lot of new techniques of problem solving there that you can use and apply in your interviews. You are also going to learn a lot of Java programming and coding there. You will come to know about what are the frequently used Java classes and APIs that we often need during the implementation of different concepts and different solutions. So it's going to help you learn a lot of new techniques that you can use, and it's definitely going to help you in your interviews. So make sure you check out those very important problems. The name of the playlist is Leetcode and Leetcode Solutions. If you are a fresher, junior level developer, you want to practice more coding problems. To help your practicing sessions, we have created 3 other major playlists to help you in your practicing. The names of those playlists are Code Forces, Code Chef, Coder, Code Forces, Code Chef, Coder. All in all, more than 500 problems are here to help you in your interview rounds and learning process. If you are a Java J2 developer, you are a fresher, junior level developer, you are preparing for your interview rounds. To help you in your interviews, we have created a lot of helpful videos here on this channel, which are available right now for you. The name, for example, frequently asked Java telephonic interview questions and how to answer them. Java design patterns, Java architecture, SQL programming questions to the freshers, where they will give you database tables. They will ask you to write SQL queries where you may have to use different database concepts like inner join, outer join, left outer join, right outer join, um, group by and having clauses, aggregate operations, different filtering techniques. Everything is explained for you in those videos, so that you also can be able to write those kind of SQL queries in your interviews. There are also videos that discusses frequently asked Unix questions to the freshers. For example, Unix commands, Unix utilities, shell scripting questions, all are here for you to help you in your interview rounds. If you like this video, if you like this Java solution where we have used map and count array, and you like the way the video is created with this example and explanation, then please give it a thumbs up to the video, give it a like to the video, subscribe to this channel. Subscription is very important, because that's how the videos can reach to other people, so others will also be able to watch these videos. They will also be able to learn from these videos. If you like this video, then do subscribe to this channel, give it a like to the video, share this video with all your friends, so your friends will also learn more programming and coding here. They will also learn usage of data structures and algorithmic techniques in different varieties of problem solving. They will see all different varieties of problems that typically appears in the interviews and how to answer them. I'm going to add this Java solution code in my GitHub project and give the link of this code so you can check it out. There are lots of other important Java solutions and algorithms already available there for you. Don't forget to check out the other Java solutions, which are also quite interesting. If you like the Java solutions in the GitHub repository, consider giving it a star on the GitHub repository. That would be great. Uh, if the videos on this channel are helping your learning process, you are learning new techniques and Java programming and coding from this channel, then do mention that into the comments. Your comments are very valuable for us. That increases our motivation to create more quality content videos. So if these videos are useful and helpful for you, then do write into the comments and share it with all your friends. Keep learning, keep coding, keep solving more varieties of coding problems, and most importantly, keep your learning process going on continuously. And thanks for watching these videos.